Hello, everyone. My name is William Olichny. I am a recent graduate of William and Mary's Master's of Science in Business Analytics, where I have learned some machine learning, and I have kind of touched up one of my favorite projects that I did. Me and my team did for that one, where we predict what makes people skip a song on Spotify. I know a lot of us use Spotify. I've had my account since I was 13. And what's interesting is that Spotify has kept track of every song you've listened to, how long you listened to it, what like the timestamp was, like when you listened to it, to like 2012 at 3 p.m. Um, and it, of course, has the song, the album, the artist. Um, and whether you're in incognito mode, whether you are offline or online, there's a lot of things that they keep on it. But what I like about what Spotify has done with that is that you can request that data. I think that's so cool. And especially at a time when I'm learning more about data, I was just very struck by that. And I wanted to make something that would interact with that more. And one thing I thought that Spotify Wrapped could always add was kind of like, what are the songs you might not like? So that's why I've kind of made this what will you skip sort of machine learning model. But as I'm still pretty new to coding, I'm not really great at making front end stuff. So this is an instructional video, basically how to use this site because there's a few little tricks to get your Spotify data as well collect a little bit more data related to it. Let's start with getting that listening data, the songs you listen to. So we are going to Google Spotify request data. We're going to click this link that says data rights and privacy choices. And this is going to talk about data. Can I download a copy of my personal data? Yes, you can. You go to this link, account privacy, manage your data. We're going to scroll down to download your data. I will not be selecting select account data. It does have some of your listening data. It includes podcasts, AI playlists, your Wrapped. That's just not what we're going to use for this model. Instead, we're going to use extended streaming history. This is a little bit more parsimonious for the data you want, the stuff that's going to matter for the model. I don't really want your customer service history. I'm not a huge fan of that. But what you'll do here, and I've already kind of clicked it, so I see this button, but you're going to hit the green check mark that would be here, and you're going to hit request data. That's going to come to you in an email. You're going to have to basically say, yes, I want to request. And then in about a week, or maybe it's like 14 days, uh, you'll get that data. And it's a lot. That's why it takes so much. Obviously, I've had my account since I was 13. So that's a lot of music over a lot of years. It's 10 years of music. You're going to hit download. It's going to give you a zip file. And within that zip file are going to be files called streaming, history, audio, 2023, 2024, all the years, as well as the number of files. So I had 11 files in there. For the purpose of this, we're only going to use these two. Um, my website isn't going to really be able to handle all of your music data. It's a lot, and Spotify will kind of slap you on the wrist if you request too much data. Not for this request, but for genre data, we're going to have to do a little extra step because we want to know what kind of genre you'd want to skip. That's very interesting. Like, do you skip reggae in the morning? So we need one more thing. You're going to upload those files, streaming history. I'm just going to do two. And because that's sort of all I can handle right now. So do two for yours as well, especially they're kind of smallish. Boom, you can already see it populates with your listening data. There's some Tool, there's some Chinese music I've got in here, Handsome Family. So this is just kind of like the base level, but we're gonna build off this. And the way we're gonna build off of it is we're gonna need some Spotify credentials. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go to Spotify Web Developer, click on Web API. You are going to link your Spotify account with this. It's just signing in, nothing crazy here. Spotify makes it pretty easy. And then you are going to go to your profile. There's my little username there. You're going to go to dashboard. Now you're going to hit create app. You can call this literally anything, does not matter. App description does not matter. You redirect URI. Just do this. You're going to go back to my website, copy the web address here, put it under redirect URI, hit add, click web API. I understand and agree to the terms, hit save. Cool. Now you get some interesting login information. You get client ID and client secret. You're not supposed to share this stuff, so I'm going to delete this right after anyways. But this is kind of like your username, and then this is your password. And we're going to use these to get another authentication thing. Hit enter. Now we can do this authorizing step. Click here. It's going to take you back, hit agree on this or sign it, and whatever it makes you do. It's going to take you back to my website. Don't even think about like what's on the page. Doesn't matter. Don't even like have to redo anything. You're going to go to the web address and you see where it says, okay, that's the website. But then you have this code equals here. Just select everything to the right of the equal sign. Do not include that equal sign. Drag your mouse all the way to the right until it's done. Control C. Just copy it. Now you do not need this page anymore. Paste it. This is the same place where I had my other data. Paste it, hit enter. Great. Now it got something called an access token. You don't really need to worry about that. Now the thinking on your end is done. You get to see a little bit more of your data and kind of just some steps. Choose your time zone. I live in Eastern time, probably when I listen to all this music. So let's select that one. And then we are going to get the genre data. Click this get genres and join with music data. Now, I already have my own genre data, so it will say like done. But for you, since you listen to different music than me, it's going to do API calls and it's going to request all that genre data. And that can sort of overload Spotify if like a bunch of people are doing that millions of times over. So it'll be slow because Spotify will slap you on the wrist, give you a timeout otherwise. You will also probably not be able to do that many. I think I've tested up to 1,700 distinct artists, and that's okay. But let's say you try and half of them and you close out and you try again, then you'll be rate limited. Basically, you can only do this a certain amount of time. So this is where the most problems for this website are going to be. Just click it, let it be done. Don't refresh your page, or you're going to have a bad time. It's going to show you some other things I added, feature engineering. So I added columns like time of day, which I calculated using this column. We now see we have our genre data, Chinese rock, sludge, metal. It gets really specific with these. And now it in the background has also done the logistic regression. The first two things here, confusion matrix or classification report, this is basically the accuracy metrics of it. We won't really get into that into this video. I'll add some descriptions to them when I get around to it. And you get to see your log odds coefficients. In short, this is basically what makes you skip a song and what makes you less likely to skip a song. If I had skipped the song before it, this forward button one, so if I skip the song before, I'm more likely to skip the song in question. If it's, let's say, like I skipped the song before it and it's Taiwanese pop, I'm probably really likely to skip it because now these two coefficients are interacting with each other. Um, if it's like negative, a deeply negative number, especially, it's like Southern Gothic, I'm way less likely to skip that song. And numbers that are in the middle don't really push it one way or other. You're not any more likely to skip it, not any less likely to skip it. Nothing of huge there. And even genre experimental hip hop, I don't get it's not very strong on whether I'm going to skip it or not. Okay, now for something a little fun to just get away from coefficients and stuff like that. We can kind of play with it a little bit. This will make a prediction. Let's say that what happens if you listen to an Afrobeat song, and it's going to do a lot of loading on this stuff. But basically, you get to play with the metrics of what if I listen to this type of song under this kind of condition? Like, did I just skip the song before it? And of course, it's going to load. It's like, getting the model ready. really whatever's going on in the background. That takes a minute. You can tell it's loading by these little triathlon little guys here. Then, all right, let's say I didn't shuffle it, and then I'm not in incognito mode, and then I listen to it in the afternoon. Let's predict if I skip it or not. And again, it's going to take a little bit to load, logistic regression. The machines are learning. Um, it takes them a minute, especially when it's on an app like this. Yes. So if I listen to an Afrobeat song in the afternoon, and if I skipped the song before it and I don't have shuffle, I'm not in incognito mode, I'm more likely to skip it. And then here's just a refresher on your coefficients, what you're likely to skip or not. This website will probably go through some changes, so I can add in some descriptions for the models, pretty things up a little bit. But the main reason for this video is to know how to request your data and how to get in that certain login information, which is going to be needed to collect your genres. And of course, the probably the weakest part of this is going to be that collecting genres because it's an API and you get limited if you mess it up. It's kind of strict. But yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy looking at your Spotify data in this sort of way. I kind of wish that this would be added to a Spotify Wrapped. Thank you very much. My name is William Olichny.